be dependent upon to do this.
I can't help but think of a particular person when you're talking about all this, the media pushing a phenomenon into existence, and that person is Donald Trump. And we're taping this before the election, so we don't know, you know, by the time this airs, he'll either be president or Hillary will be president. Wow. So what, do you feel any, not necessarily political kinship, but
guilt?
some other sort of guilt or kinship to Donald Trump? You know, like, what's your analysis of that as someone who himself has hacked the media in a way?
Who can feel kinship to Donald Trump? But he is alone in his singularity. He is, I think, an innocent, almost like atavistic force, right? He's this almost totally childish in his complete innocence. Like, he is completely honest to whatever he is, but totally inscrutable. And that's not me calling him, like, insulting him and calling him a fool. The man is a genius and has incredible instincts and certainly understands some of these things about the media in a more natural way than I ever will and many of us ever will. I can't place him. No one can place him. And this kind of blindness, this kind of total reflectivity is surely what is propelling him to almost clinching the presidency. That I looked at the polls today, he's within the margin of error everywhere, nationally. And he's about to close in New Hampshire here, and maybe even Colorado. I mean, how is he doing? I don't know. Do I feel any affinity? I don't know. I feel awe like everyone else, complete awe. And I tip my hat just a bit to him in the book. I mean, you know, I was thinking of things in the very beginning before WikiWeapon that involved, you know, concrete manipulations and going to different markets and kind of trying to pull media. I mean, Donald Trump can play every one of these games simultaneously on every level, everywhere. He found the seam, he found the thread, and he's pulled it, you know. And at the same time, there's a huge unconscious force that is propelling him, right-wing ethno-nationalism, Brexit, like all of these. The suppressed remainder is returning, and Donald Trump, I guess, is riding a wave.
You have some harsh words for the so-called maker movement in this book, and it, you know, ostensibly you're part of it, the movement where people are seizing the means of production for themselves and just making things for themselves.
Don't even use the word seize, right? A maker would never use the word seize. You have to dial it back.
Okay.
Repeat your question.
What would be a more appropriate verb in your opinion?
The makers hugged the means of production.
They hugged the means of production. And so you view them as kind of frivolous. Could you tell me what your problem is with the self-anointed makers movement?
Funny that you would say, like, well, you're part of the maker movement. Boy, I was never made to feel that way.
Right.
And I was never consciously represented as that. If anything, there's been, in the beginning of our project, there was a fight with the traditional crowd, the gun control crowd, the kind of political crowd, and then this other fight with the people who were supposed to be kind of working with the same technology as us. This total, well, an extirpation, really. I mean, purging everything that we're doing from their message boards, administrators telling people not to link to our content, right, on the cultural level. And then on the higher level, the level of the masthead publications like the magazine, Make Magazine, this level of curating our content, telling that what we were doing was an abortion of their principles. And we're really kind of mucking it up for everybody. While simultaneously, I began to realize in consumption of their own media, oh my God, we are the promise of their movement. If anything of what they said was true, then it was that, like, we were reindustrializing, we were doing actual real physical things, making like useful objects with their technology and then propelling those into other people's hands who actually wanted to use them. Look, this project around you right here is perhaps the most successful living open hardware project. This is what a maker project should be. You can go to conferences where they all scratch each other's heads and look at each other, stare at each other in the face and go, you know, how can we make open hardware work? Well, you have to find a good application. You have to deliver something to people that they actually want, and that's often constrained politically. There's like superficial political scarcity, okay? There's no patents, design patents, utility patents, copyright, there's nothing on these devices. These are open platforms. We sell them by the thousands and we make money on them. We propel ourselves into lawsuits and we do R&D. This is an open hardware project, and yet we are not claimed by this movement. We're not claimed by this movement because we openly reach for the political in the beginning. We say making means this. It doesn't mean this kind of just permanent diversion into nostalgia, this permanent diversion into the sandbox of late adolescence, even well into your adulthood. Grow out your neck beard, play Minecraft, and kind of sing about how you built something out of Legos today, right? This is to be ridiculed on this level, right? You have to grab like the importance and the urgency of your moment.
Right.
And I thought the most harsh thing I ever said in the book about the makers was that their revolt was not Luciferian. It was not serious. The flagship machine of the maker movement in 2012 was called the Cupcake CNC. These aren't serious people.
Right. And I mean, let's talk about what you are doing here in opposition to, the Cupcake CNC.
Well, but to be clear, right? My words are critical, but I don't style us as in opposition to the makers. Okay. They do not form a part of the horizon of our ambitions.
Yeah,
they're simply a kind of unhappy, sad little thing worth talking about. The arrows and sticks that they threw are so inconsequential now. I mean, we run this shit, man.
Yeah, but people want to know, what